Check, 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 check. Hello, hello, hello. Hey there. Hello, Wilbur. All right, let's see here. Hello. Welcome. Let's make sure I get this set right. Welcome, everybody, to Church Media Guys Show. This is the live recording of the Church Media Guys Show. Each week, Justin Nava, my partner from churchtrainingacademy.com. Churchtrainingacademy.com is the place where you guys can go and learn how to do all sorts of... you guys can learn how to... what's the tagline? Hang on. I'll get it. Wait, don't... Hang on. The tagline. Church Training Academy. The tools you need to maximize your ministry. That's the tagline. But the elevator pitch is Church Training Academy is a place where you and I come together and we all learn how to use and exploit media and technology so we can take the gospel to the world. Justin is my partner with churchtrainingacademy.com. And a dadgum good friend. Anyway, if you guys are watching this live, welcome. Welcome to the live show. This is a live recording of Justin and I shooting our podcast, the Church Media Guys Show. And we love having a live audience. We love having a studio audience, as it were. And I don't have room in here for everybody, so we're doing it on Facebook and on YouTube. Hello to the YouTubers. We want you guys to join in, to ask questions, to say hi, to tell us we got it all wrong, and tell us what the right answer is, whatever it takes. We do this each week, every Friday at 11 a.m. Central. And, 10 after 11, right? So 11:10, because Justin actually does this during his lunch break. So one of the things you'll notice when we're doing the show is that I'll get started, then I'll bring Justin in, which I kind of need to in just a second. He says he's ready, so hang on. Let me get Justin. I need to bring him in. He and I will be together doing the show, and then we will, when the show gets to about 11:45, 10 till 12 or so, then he goes ahead and signs off and heads back to his office, and then I'll end up finishing the show if we are unable to finish the show prior to him leaving. So if you are watching the replay of this, then by all means, you may skip forward to about the, 6-minute mark, something like that, where we'll get started. Let me bring in Mr. Nava. Let's see. Why... Oh, there it is. I see what it was doing. How creepy and weird that is. All right, let me get the thing positioned for Justin. There we go. And let me invite him. I hope you guys are doing well. I've got the chat running over here. See, look. Can you see that machine right there, my little Chromebook? I've got you guys pulled up over there, but I'm looking at the camera here, and I got to look at the chat over there. So give me just a second here to... get the URL for Justin and bring him into my Zoom session. By the way, if you guys aren't using Zoom for like meetings and video conferencing and stuff like that, y'all, it's awesome. One of the things that's really cool about Zoom is that you can, if you've got like bandwidth restrictions or have like low bandwidth, like if you only got like 1 meg, or 7 megs down or something, and you've only got like 1 meg up or whatever, you can still do a Zoom conference. It's really efficient. It's really cool. I mean, with like really low spotty bandwidth, you can still get a very decent video signal, and you can record it too. So I mean, that's just awesome sauce all the way around. Let's see here. Hello to Jordan. Hello to, well, Justin's in the room there. And he should be, because he's part of it. Oh, goodness. All right. Today, y'all, we're going to be talking about the social media platforms that are out there and whether you should be on all the different platforms, or should you be on. Oops, I forgot a light. Let me turn this light on. There we go. It's a little fill light that I use to hit me on the side. Let's see here. He should be joining any second now. All right. So how has everybody been? I see Christopher Hall in there. I see Marcus Kyler. Hello, Marcus. Marcus is actually our guest today. Marcus is he's sort of a digital media guru, genius. He wants to be your digital pastor, believe it or not. He is fluent on the various platforms. He's really interesting, has a lot of great insights and stuff. So today we're going to be sharing about a 10-minute clip from our interview with Marcus. And then, of course, we'll be rolling that into the full-on podcast and the YouTube video and all that sort of stuff. And Justin is here. Make sure your volume is up. Justin, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
That was awesome, dude.
I'm having mouse issues here. My mouse keeps turning off and on. It's really weird.
Uh-oh. Is it all charged up and such?
Actually, I just unplugged it from the charger.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, okay, we got it back, and it looks like it's staying. So I think we're good.
Awesome.
I think we're good now. Just took a few minutes there.
Okay. We need to get this shared. Can I
Yes,
share
I already
it?
shared it to Media Hacks.
Thank you. So, all right. So when I'm hosting the live video, I can't share it from within the thing. That's kind of
Really?
Well, I mean, there's not a share button. I mean, I hit the go live and all that, and so I've got that window up, and I see the chat, and that's all wonderful. But there's no way for me to share from within this window. That just doesn't make sense. From within the post window.
Huh. Probably have to go to the
Yeah, use more resources.
page.
Yeah. Load up the page, use more resources. Thanks,
That's why I have
Facebook.
a second computer, Dave.
Yeah, I know, I do too.
For a limited time only, maybe.
All right, so Jordan is in the chat room. Jordan says that the CTA Mastermind was great last night. Yes, it was. We always have a really good time. Guys, by the way, if y'all don't, if you're not a CTA insider, how come? I mean, because like right now is like the cheapest you guys are ever going to be able to sign up, and I'm not lying about that. If you're watching the replay of this and you want to join CTA, now is the time to do it. Go to churchtrainingacademy.com/join, and you guys can get your monthly subscription locked in at $27. It is going up. It is going up very
Hey, did you
quickly.
mean for some of our Mastermind Q&A stuff to be public on the YouTube channel?
No, I put all those
Okay.
as unlisted.
Okay, one of them is public.
Oh no!
Right now.
Can you change it?
I noticed it in the sidebar.
That's funny. Can you change it?
Yeah, I just changed it.
Okay, thanks.
So, hey, if you were following us on YouTube and checked your oh yeah, all of these are public.
They
Oh,
shouldn't
wait,
be.
no, those are playlists. Those are playlists.
Yeah, the and that playlist actually, the playlist for the Insiders Mastermind is not public as well.
Okay, there we go. It was in the sidebar of the live stream, and I was like, is that just because I'm logged in or because it was public?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a publishing point set up in Adobe Media Encoder, so I can go in there and throw in the information and get things uploaded. And as soon as they're rendered, then it starts an upload, and then it begins the next render and all that. It's really cool. I love that.
Cool.
I like the automation. Yeah. So anyway, by the way, now's the time to get in before we raise the price and it becomes just a little bit more expensive. So do it. All right, dude.
I'm ready.
Awesome sauce. So, guys, if y'all have any questions or anything, be sure to leave them in the chat, in the comments down here on Facebook or on the YouTube, and we or one of the other people in there will be answering that for you. And
Probably me.
Yes, and we want your input, throughout the show. All right. So, and you have our tip, correct? You're
Yep.
doing the pro tip? Okay. Fantastic. Just looking over everything. All right. Fan-diddly-tastic. Good night. That's a huge yawn. Y'all can't see it, but he yawned something fierce. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the teas here real quick. If you're like most churches, you want to reach as many people as you possibly can, anywhere that you possibly can. We've got this vast digital mission field out there. But the question is, which social media platform should we be on? That's a huge, huge question. There are so many out there. Which one's best for what? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, guys, welcome to another exciting, thrill-packed, action-featured, really awesome and wholly informative episode of the Church Media Guys show. My name is Dave Curley. We've not met. I am the founder of churchtrainingacademy.com, which is a place where you and I and other ministry-minded people can come together and learn how to use and exploit media and technology, social media, websites, podcasting, all that kind of stuff so that we can take the message to the world, both inside our church physically and then outside our church. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, Justin Nava. Good morning, Justin.
Oh man, I am so awake right now. How's it going, guys? Live stream. Everyone watching live, Dave. I'm just trying to see if I can make Dave yawn here. I will
not yawn. Oh crap! Here it comes.
Oh yes.
Dang it.
There it is. If you're listening to the audio, I finally got Dave to do a little yawn.
Dang it.
I'm excited for today. We got Ryan in the live chat here. He said the pro tip for today is a thorn in my side. Definitely need some tips with it. And yes, it is how to recruit the best volunteers that stick around. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're about to get that right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be a separate video. I specifically chose this one because so many people are having this issue, Dave. So I was like, yeah. I'm commandeering the pro tip today. We're talking about how to recruit the best volunteers that stick around.
That's awesome. Volunteers are a it's interesting. They're like a mixed blessing. It's a bittersweet thing. You know, there's like this complete dichotomy with volunteers. We can't do any of our stuff without help and without volunteers. But then you have the volunteers that are the, hey, I really want to help. Okay, great. Can you do this? Well, I'm gonna be kind of can you help out over here? Well, actually, I really need to, and then they go back to their pew. It's like, yep. Dang it, And then you got the volunteers they're like, hey, I'd like to help, and then they come in with these gigantic lists of everything that needs to change. I'm one of those.
Exactly what we're talking about.
Well, that's awesome. Let's get to it.
Pro tip. Was that close? That was close.
That was well, you did something. Awesome. All right, let me
yeah. That reminds me of the end of No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones is finished telling the story, and they're like, "Is it true?" And he's like, "Well, I can't verify the facts, but it is true that it is a story."
Thank you for watching. All right, cool. Let me cut to your big screen here. All right, you are front and center, my friend. Pro Tipificatus.
All right.
Did I just hear somebody sneeze?
You did. That was my lovely wife.
She's in town.
She's one of those people that yell sneezes.
Oh, I do too. That is awesome.
I can't stand it. I'll let her know that she was on the live stream.
That is awesome. Listen, when we finally get together in real life for the second time, did y'all know that we've only been together in real life once? And that was me and Justin. You came to my parents' house at Christmas and on your way to Houston, and we got to spend the afternoon together, and that was awesome. When we get together with our actual families, where we can finally meet Bridget and meet little Jill and Jillian can meet each other and all that sort of stuff. Bridget and I can have a sneeze fest. It'll be awesome.
Please no.
Yes, I'm a very loud sneezer.
So much, especially when you're just sitting there. Dave, turn me down for just a second. Especially when you're just sitting there and it's just like this. It's ridiculous. There's a whole SNL skit about that with Will Ferrell. Drives me nuts.
Anyway. That's awesome. All right, go
Like,
for it,
oh my
dude.
gosh. Okay. Let me pull my notes up here. I actually made notes. This one's very important to me.
By
I
the way,
know
this is what you
all right.
get when you're watching the live stream. When you're watching us as part of our live studio audience, you get to see
Yeah.
all this behind the scenes stuff that's going to get cut out. And actually, the whole Bridget sneezing thing is probably going to be our little tease at the beginning, the little tag we put in there of something
She'll
funny.
love
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. The first thing
All
we're going to
right.
do when we meet, she's going to kick me in the shin.
You're lucky she kicks you that low. All right. For today's pro tip, I'm going to oh gosh, that was so much like Brady. On today's Pro Church Tools. Can't do that. No. All right, take two. That is not going to be our intro.
That's right. Hey there.
Hey there. Well, yeah. Hey, just something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
we're he's Canadian. We're much more hey y'all.
Yeah. My thing is, what's going on? I always say that. That's becoming my thing. All right. For today's pro tip, I'm going to share with you an experience that I've had and talking to other people who have found those golden volunteers, the ones that, yes, sir, what can I do? How high can I jump? Tell me what to do. Tell me how to do it. To find those volunteers, it's a bit like finding, what is it, the diamond in the rough. You have to go through so much and so much turnover that it can be difficult, and you can just kind of shut down and say, well, I guess it's just me forever because I can't find anyone that is either capable of doing the job or capable of sticking around for the long haul. And so today's pro tip is how to recruit the best volunteers that stick around. And I'm going to start this off with a story of a man named Bob McCaughey. And this is a gentleman at my previous church who was one of the best all around volunteers. He was one of the guys that you told, Bob, you're already volunteering over here. You don't need to be doing this over here. And he would say, no, 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 no. He would say, I'm retired. I have nothing else to do. You got me. I'm here for you. It was the greatest thing ever. And in fact, if I can kind of skip to the end of the story, this man was so dedicated to the church, and he came in later. He came in after his retirement. He wasn't born and raised in this church. He was so dedicated to the church that actually one Sunday he didn't show up. And one of our staff got concerned and said, Bob's always here. Where is he? And actually went to his house and found out that's the night he had passed, was in his house. And the way we knew that something had happened, something was wrong, was that he didn't come to church. That's how dedicated Bob was. So now going back to his volunteership, Bob was a man that he was an older gentleman. He was not tech savvy. He would ask questions all the time that people may say, that's a dumb question. How do you not know how to right click or something like that? But he was our best sound booth, video, projector, basically media volunteer. And he volunteered in other places too, but he was one of our best media volunteers. And there was something that separated him out from the other volunteers that come in, like you said, Dave, earlier, that come in and say, here's the $10,000 gear list, gear writer that I need to do the job well. Or he didn't come in and say, you got me, I'm here every fourth month on the second Sunday between the hours of 10 and 11 a.m.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, maybe.
Right.
He wasn't one of those guys. He was there all the time and he did the job. And not only that, he loved it. And what separates volunteers like Bob and volunteers like the revolving door volunteers that just come in and come right back out is their mindset. So to recruit the best volunteers that stick around means looking for the mindset of looking for people that have the mindset of they want to see change and not just want to do things. You want to find people who want to see change, who buy into your vision, and not the people that so much just want to do things. And so what does this look like? Number one, it may mean that that they don't know how to do the job yet. They don't know graphic design. They don't know bandwidth frequencies. They don't know streaming bit rate. They don't know that stuff, but what they do know is that live streaming is reaching a brand new audience. It's bringing people to the church, and they want to see it happen even better. They want to see it more consistent. They want to see less Sundays where the live stream's turned off. They want to see more YouTube videos of the live stream replay. And so they say, what can I do to get connected? And the one thing you don't want to say is, well, do you know how to operate a camera with low aperture rate and a dim environment with a shotgun mic, whatever fancy term, Rode N64? XQY, that's going to turn them off. They're like, I don't know how to do that. I guess this isn't the place for me.
What the heck are you talking about?
Right? He doesn't know what I'm talking about. So what you want to do is find people like that. So here's some things to avoid as well as for some things to look for. Number one, don't look for someone who knows how to do the job already. Okay. Like you said, Dave, if you find someone with years of roadie experience and then ask them to serve in the audio booth, they're going to bring their own gear writer and say, I need $10,000. Let's do this job. Right. I don't know how to do it with this, whatever here. Or they can be tough to teach because they're set in their ways.
Right.
They may think that their way is better. And so you can't teach them the way that you want it done as the leader of the ministry. Don't look for someone that can do it by themselves and take over. Okay. So it's kind of like, it's a lot of pressure when you just come up to him and say, hey, I need an audio booth. What are you doing for the next 30 years? It's a lot of pressure. It's like asking out your girlfriend to marry you on the first date. So don't worry about
I dated a girl like that. Boy. Yeah, that was a rough stretch of highway.
That's a lot of responsibility to say, hey, can you take this over by yourself for the next 30 years? Don't look for someone who's ready to do that because they're going to get burned out real quick, or they have a completely different idea and they can step on some other ministry's toes when they try to take over. So don't automatically look for someone that knows how to do the job and that, and don't start looking for someone that has long-term commitment because you're not going to find that person. And if you do find that person, they're going to realize real quick that this really isn't for them, and they'll just step right through the revolving door and go out. So what to look for, how to recruit the best volunteers that stick around. Number one, I already said it, look for people who want to see change instead of people who do things. Because, Dave, I believe this firmly, and I think you do too, anyone can learn pretty much anything, okay? Bob McCaughey, retired man in his late 50s and 60s, learned how to run sound, learned how to run slides, learned how to make slides, learned how to do all this technical mumbo jumbo. And he was able to do, and you know what? He showed up every Sunday because he believed in the media ministry, in the worship ministry. He believed in making things better. We would do slides on Wednesday night during rehearsal. And I believe one time he came in and was like, why are we doing these now? These should already be done so we can practice during rehearsal. And so he started coming in on Tuesdays before rehearsal and making slides. This was huge. And he did it because, he had the time because he was retired, but because he wanted to see things done better. No one had ever thought about doing slides before Wednesday because Wednesday was the day we did them. He was always there early because he wanted to see change and he wanted to see things done well. And, you may find someone that knows what all the buttons do and the terminology, but because they do things and they don't really carry out mission and vision, they're really just concerned with the things. And so they're going to do it their way on their time, with their level of priority. But anyone can learn anything, and pretty much you can teach them 80% of the stuff. I think, Dave, I know about 80% of what you know, and you know about 80% of what I know.
Yeah, sure.
What makes us real dangerous is that we cover the other 20% for each other.
Right.
But you could easily do most of what I do, and I could easily do what most of you do. And I'm learning along the way to get to that 80%, or maybe you also do the 80%. If you can get 80% of the way there, you're dangerous, right?
Yeah, of course.
And when you want that other 20%, that's when you hire on a staff member to take care of the other 20%. So anyone can learn anything. So don't be too concerned if they don't know how to do things yet. The main thing is they want to see change. They believe in the mission and vision. Number three, when they buy into the vision and not the things, they're not just limited to the duty that you give them, okay? They're going to use their own imagination to find new ways, better ways, and they're going to have fun learning, and they won't step over you, right? They're following your vision of live streaming ministry, of how to update the website. They're going to work inside your parameters because they want to see more of what you're already doing. And if they see issues, they're going to have fun learning and troubleshooting, and it's not going to be another job to them. It's going to be part of, being in the field, being on the front lines and carrying out that vision and proving that vision instead of just, I'm a button monkey. I'm going to push these buttons and that's all I'm ever going to do. Then they're going to get bored. They're going to find another mission and vision, and they're going to go to that one and have more fun with that one. You want people that are bought into your vision of live streaming. You want people that are bought into your vision of social media, and you can teach them how to take photos. You can teach them how to create captivating descriptions for Facebook. You can teach them all those things. What you can't teach is buying into the mission. Either they are or they aren't. And if they aren't, that's what causes that revolving door. So this was a really long pro tip, but one that I know a lot of people are struggling with is finding volunteers that stick around. And in my experience and experience of talking with other leaders, the best volunteers are the ones who volunteer for the mission, not the things that they do.
Right. And I think you're spot on there, because if they buy into the mission, then of course they're willing to go anywhere and do whatever it takes. And they'll have that mentality. Christopher Hall cautions in the comments. He said, but don't hold them back when you find someone that wants to help with making the change. Yeah, and I don't think that's not what we're saying, Chris. That we wouldn't want to hold them back, because there are going to be people that are like, they want to be there to help with the change. They may not be able to volunteer on a long-term basis or anything like that, but they're there to lend their expertise to do what needs to be done. That's kind of where I was at our church for I mean, guys, I've been doing like television and live streaming and broadcast and all that sort of stuff since 1991. So, I am the guy that, knows cameras, that shoots videos, that makes videos, that does all that kind of stuff. And when I came to my church at first, I wanted to try to affect some of this change, but they weren't ready for it and stuff. But then I would get people asking me, can you do this? Can you do that? And it got to a point where I was like the person to go to for all these free video things that people wanted to do and all that. And I said, I don't want the church to know me for that. I want to be the guy here. But once change started, and once there was a desire to do that, then I threw all in, because I have the expertise and I have to do that. And then it turned into an actual position at the church and all that. So, just encourage people, use the people that you have that are willing to be there and stuff, but then develop folks that have the mission. And that goes basically across any of the ministries, not just a tech ministry or the media ministry or anything like that. I mean, we're talking choir, we're talking children's ministry, we're talking food pantry, mission, I mean, whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. This is across any ministry. Obviously, your musicians, they need to have some kind of tune. You can teach someone to sing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of maybe the one exception. But
right.
Anyone, as long as they're bought into the mission and vision, you can teach them. You can teach someone how to teach children. Mm-hmm. I'm a perfect example of that. It's not my most preferred ministry, but I can, because I was taught that in college. You can teach someone how to do janitorial duties. You can teach someone how to lead a small group. Someone says, I'm bought into the mission of this small group. I want to make sure that if Jordan gets sick, that we don't have to cancel. So he comes along as a co-host, and you teach him and you bring him up. And yeah, right. He makes mistakes, but it's just like youth ministry, right? You don't shut down kids who want to be leaders just because they make one mistake. We talked about that with Instagram, either in this interview or in a past one. It's all blending together right now. But, it's just part of that. And Chris, said this is so important to identify early. I cannot tell you, when I was doing IT for the church, and we'll wrap this up here because it is getting long. How many guys that said, I know computer repair and I can do whatever. I had one guy that came in that was so qualified, and he was like, oh yeah, this is great. He came in and fixed one computer screen, and I never saw him again. The wife of some teacher. And I was like, hey, I don't even remember his name. And she was like, yeah, he just, I found something else to do. He was there to do things.
Right.
And because he wasn't so much bought into the vision, he kind of got bored and left, I guess.
Sure.
Whereas I had someone else come in and he was bought into the vision. He said, I love what you're doing with the private school. I love what you're doing for the church. I noticed these issues. He installed Wi-Fi. He installed a long-range transmitter to get internet into our gym. Mm-hmm. He repaired computers. He inventoried stuff. He created a whole inventory spreadsheet for this. And he was a self-starter. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. He eventually worked himself out of a job because one day he was like, is there anything for me to do? And I was like, I don't have anything for you. Like,
you gave us 5 buttons to push. We push them and everything works.
We're good. Like, you can monitor the network, but I mean, I'm out of ideas. I think we were out of budget. And he was like, all right, well, call me when you're ready for something else. And,
cool.
And he would come in every once in a while for the odd job. And again, another Army retiree, but they're the best volunteers. So if you can spot that catch on to that vision, I mean, those guys are self-starters. They'll do what you want. And, he didn't like the grunt work of running cables, but he did it anyways because he bought into the vision of having church-wide mesh network Wi-Fi.
Right.
I mean, that was the vision. He did. Of course, I helped him. I didn't just like, hey. But if I had asked for someone to run cables throughout the building and go into all the, don't fall through the sanctuary floor because we got to run it, or sanctuary ceiling because we got to run it across, I wouldn't have found volunteers for that. No one was going to do that thing. We were going to have to pay for that. But he was caught with that vision and mission of, we want to make it welcoming to guests and have a good Wi-Fi network. He did that. He crawled into those spaces, and when he couldn't, he talked to the youth pastor and found a youth that could crawl into those small spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did all that on his own. It was amazing. And so, yeah, identify those things early, so you can find people, and they'll do whatever you tell them to do because it's part of the mission and vision that they want to see more of.
Fantastic. Let me ask you something real quick. We
Sure.
have 20 till noon. This almost turned into an episode. Do you want to let this be the episode? That's okay. I mean, we're flexible if we're nothing else. Do you want this to be the episode, and then I can build out a like a pro tip that's a little like an app tutorial or something like that?
No, let's just make it a beefy pro tip.
Okay.
Let's do Marcus's interview.
Awesome.
We can cut it short, the preview clip, or do a shorter debrief afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, let's make it a beefy pro tip, because I
Fantastic.
knew it was going to be beefy. I tried to keep it to 10 minutes, and I couldn't.
Hey, no worries.
No
No
worries.
worries.
The chat's getting involved.
What do you call it? You curlified it?
I probably did. I had notes too, because I was like, this is so important. Normally we don't have notes or show notes or rundowns for our pro tips. We just kind of do them. But I was like, this is so important. I already have a page written on just this.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Do the let's talk about the Media Hacks group. Hang on one second.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna actually, I guess instead of chat, I was gonna type it out, but I will just answer it here. Ryan said, Chris said that. Ryan said, I've had delegation burn me a few times. That will happen, right? When I had the teacher's husband come and help me for that one time, I had a list of stuff ready to go and things we needed to do. He never came back. I think I saw him once. That I remember. He might have come a few times, but I don't even remember it. Delegation burns. People make mistakes. Balls get dropped. That's going to happen. But you can't let that stop you from trying and investing, because when I was a youth intern, we had some terrible student-led Bible studies, just awful. We asked them to do a 10-minute Bible study. They talked for 2 minutes, and then they sat there awkwardly. That's part of raising up leaders. That's part of building up volunteers. And the thing is, if they're investing for the things and something goes wrong, that means they failed their duty. They're not good at the things. They're gone. That's it. Bye-bye. If they're invested into the vision of the ministry and they mess up, that's just a stepping stone to getting it done better. Okay, so the things is not the important. The vision is. So I messed up the audio. That means that next time I won't, because I've learned, I've made that mistake. I'll figure it out for next time better. And just as a leader building up leaders, I would rather have 9 delegations burn out, drop the ball, mess up, and build, and that 10th person be an amazing leader that I can lean on and goes on to create other leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather fail 9 times to find that one than never trust the next 10 people and miss that one. You will get burned with delegation, but that is part of it.
When you're focused on the thing and you fail, then you have failed at the thing. But if you're focusing on the mission, then if something inside the mission fails, you fix it, but the mission is still going, you know?
Yeah, it's still being carried out.
Yeah, the mission is still being carried out, and the mission is still succeeding at different levels, you know, because you're defining success as reaching the objective, not making sure that the sound is not staticky. That's just that's just a squeaky wheel on the way of the mission, you know, and that's the way the military handles it. Got all these little segments, but the objective is what you're going for. And if one of the segments doesn't work, you just pivot to the next segment and you keep going.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so let's tell them about Church Media Hacks real quick.
I'm gonna let you do it because you know more about what we're doing for the 500 mark.
Yes. All right, so check this out. Justin and I have put a group together on Facebook. It's a private Facebook group. It's called Church Media Hacks. So if you go to churchmediahacks.com, that will route you into Facebook, onto that page, and you can smash the little join group button. I don't know if it says join group. I don't remember what it says. I know they're changing stuff. I just saw my little notification thing go from being like a globe to being a bell. So they're always changing stuff. Regardless, figure out how to join. It's pretty obvious when you get there, and join. And if you're ministry minded, if you're in the ministry, if you're serving, if you're a pastor, if you're a church secretary, if you're guys like us, if you're a person in the children's ministry, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can join, and we will approve you, and you will be a part of the Church Media Hacks group, where we're going to share all kinds of info. We're going to share tips and tricks and ask questions and how do I do this? And I saw this over at another church, and I don't know how to do it. All that kind of stuff. We're all just in there sharing knowledge. Now, we have reached a huge milestone for us. Frankly, Justin, I didn't know if we were ever going to get to this point. I wasn't sure how fast this group could grow. You know, it was just kind of a shot in the dark, but we've hit the 500 mark. Which,
I thought it was going to take like a year.
Yeah, I did too.
Like 2 months.
Yeah, well, and that's encouraging. That means that we're filling a need out there. Who knew? Who knew we could fill a need? Well, we hit the 500 mark, and what Justin has been doing for the last 100, like every time we hit 100 mark, what he would do is do a free training in there, and basically he would record one of our courses or one of our micro courses or whatever. He would do that live in there with everybody. Just as a, hey, we hit a milestone, so here's a reward, thanks. Let's all play together for a little while. And that was awesome. Now, we've hit the 500 mark, and so I made an executive decision, and Justin wholeheartedly agreed with me because he knows it's as brilliant as it is. We are going to do one of our live group coaching calls, and we're going to do it with everybody in the Church Media Hacks group. Now, we're not going to broadcast it in the group. We're going to do it the way we do it every other Thursday night with our Church Training Academy Insiders, which is the live group coaching call is something we do every 2 weeks with our CTA members, right? The Insiders, where we all get together, and if you've got a roadblock, if you've got a question, if you're not sure how to do something, if you want to share a success, hey, I was faced with this problem, here's how I solved it, I want everybody to know. That's what we do in there, and everybody gets a chance to be heard, to, bring whatever they need to the table, be in the hot seat, as we call it. Everybody gets a chance to do that. And during that time, we actually record each one of these little sessions, these little micro coaching sessions that we do in there. And then all that gets published into the Church Training Academy Insider section. So we're basically building this gigantic knowledge base of questions being answered. And it's becoming a really cool resource. I've got a lot of it prepped and almost ready to be uploaded and stuff. It's like a library. It's brilliant. I'm not gonna lie, it's a brilliant idea. And I got this idea from a friend of mine who is a professional blogger. So we're gonna do this. We are going to put together a little sign-up sheet for you guys. We want to know who's going to be coming. And if you haven't signed up, you're not going to be able to be in it. We're not going to publish the link for the hangout in the group or anything like that. So we're going to put a little sign-up sheet. You guys sign up, and then we'll notify you when we're doing it. We're looking at doing it next Thursday. So if you're watching the recording, that would be Thursday the 16th, 17th, 18th. Is that the 19th, Justin? Is that what it is?
Yep, the 19th.
Yeah, Thursday the 19th at 8 p.m. Central Time. It'll be a 2-hour session that we do. It's going to be awesome, and we want all of you guys to be there. So go to churchmediahacks.com. Click on the link there to join, and you can hang out with us on the 19th doing our thing. We'll have a link in the Church Media Hacks group for everybody to sign up.
Dude, you got to stop promoting it. We already have 8 requests.
That's awesome.
since this morning.
Awesome.
A lot
love
of people.
that.
I know Ryan in the chat just requested, so I'm
awesome.
gonna get him in there.
Awesome. And we will have that sign up sheet here either by the end of the day or for those that are watching live, by the end of the day or in the morning. And we'll put a link down in the show notes as well. All right, so here is our feature presentation. I'm going to play about 5 minutes or so, the first question that we did with our new friend, the lovely and talented Mr. Marcos. Marcus Kyler is a husband, he's a father, he's a pastor, he's an author, and he wants to be your digital pastor, and he's hanging out with us today on the Church Media Guys show. Marcus, thanks, man, for coming and spending a part of your very valuable time with the Church Media Guys. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Justin, for having me on this evening. It's a great honor.
We are glad to have you here. It's always cool to talk to folks that are kind of in our space that are doing things, especially in social media. Because I mean, we get questions all the time regarding social media, various platforms. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should we be here? Should we be there? And I know you've got some fantastic insights on all that. And so before we get into that, I want our audience to get to know you on a much more deeper and more intimate level. I think it's really important that we explore some of the depths of your soul. So I'm going to ask you a handful of questions here, like really rapid fire, and I want you to be honest. Pretend you're like laying on the sofa there in my office, and old Doc Dave's probing your brain. Okay.
Very good. Very
All
good.
right. Let's start off with the most important one ever: Coke or Pepsi?
Ooh, I haven't. Now I live in Michigan, so we call it pop.
Oh,
right?
sorry.
Just to preface that, I haven't had pop since I was in high school.
Wow.
But at that time, it was definitely Coke.
Okay, good. Okay, so you're saved. Okay, that's good. All right, so that's good. All right, so coffee or tea?
Tea. Another shocker. I hate coffee.
You hate coffee, but you spend all your time in a Starbucks working.
Absolutely. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, but that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah, well, and then they have good tea over there, of course. I understand that. All right, this is the one that determines where you will be spending eternity and how many crowns you're going to get. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Star Wars.
All right.
Good. He said that because he's sitting there looking at my background. He's looking at all the stuff on my shelves, and he's like, I gotta say Star Wars.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't even looking at that.
Well, hey, I'm curious. Justin and I have we've got our CTA insiders, Church Training Academy insiders, and most of them are on Facebook, and that's where they're doing their live streaming and all that too. But we've also got a lot of people in our Church Media Hacks group, and a lot of them are wondering which platform should they focus on for ministry. And I know that's a really loaded question because both of us, Justin and I, the first question we ask is, well, what aspect of your ministry and all that? I mean, does a church really need to be on all platforms and try to be everywhere they can?
I definitely understand the necessity of really focusing on a single platform, and I understand the benefit of focusing on a single platform. Now, in the consulting that I do, when I'm offering my services, I do offer to manage multiple platforms at one time. Depending on what they want to do, it will determine my level of management of a particular platform. I kind of go with the big four, as I personally like to call it, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I do offer all of those services, and I think it's important. To have a presence on all of them. It's not required to have a presence on all of them, but that's what I offer when I pitch my services to churches. Now, when you're talking about focusing on one platform, I mean, obviously the focal platform is obviously Facebook, because that's where everybody is. But I feel so strongly about Instagram that and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this using the language that you, Justin, gave to me when you were asking me to join you all today. When is it right to move to a second platform? And my answer to the question is immediately. And I say that because I feel so strongly about Instagram that I feel that I move it up from a nice to have to a must have, right along with Facebook. Facebook, you got to have it for obvious reasons, but I just feel that there's so many different opportunities within Instagram to communicate and to really find your voice within that platform that I think it's almost necessary to really be on there as well, to the best of your ability as a ministry, as far as how you spread your resources. I like to say that Instagram is actually every platform in one. I mean, you have you have your Facebook aspects of Instagram because of course, obviously, it's owned by Facebook. But then you also have your YouTube aspect of it because of the video aspect of it. Then you also have Twitter elements in there, in the fact that now you can communicate with words as far as what you do with your Instagram stories. And the Instagram stories, of course, is from Snapchat. And so it's really every platform in one. And so when you want to communicate, I mean, you have so many different ways to do it. If you're using Instagram proper and you're just posting pictures, or you're posting 1 minute videos or less in your feed. You're using Instagram stories. You can use Instagram Live, of course, but then you also with the IGTV now, that's another opportunity for ministries to go in there and to put either repurposed content or produced original content, and have that be another way in order to share your message, or in another way to engage as well. And then finally, on top of that, there are the group chat feature that they just introduced, I guess this past week, or was it last week? I guess you can.
Yeah, it was like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you can have up to 4 people, and you can chat with them on video as you're still using Instagram. And so that just adds another element of how you can communicate with your people. And I think it's just it's an incredible platform, for that reason, because it just gives you so many looks, and so many opportunities that I don't believe the other platforms do. And so for that reason, I think you got to try to use both of them, if at all possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're the first person to actually specifically say that I've heard you need to be on Facebook, and now you need to be on Instagram. And I've kind of, it's one of those things where I've kind of known this, that you're saying, it really is all the platforms. You have the imagery of Facebook, you have the text of Facebook and Twitter, you have the hashtagging of Twitter, you have the messaging of Snapchat, the video options of YouTube. I mean, it really is kind of the all-in-one. I can see why it's coming up so much. So I think what I'd like to ask, and me and Dave can trade off here, maybe we can ask specifically, I think we're mostly on Facebook. There's still some churches that are not on Facebook, but we'll get to those in maybe first. But let's say we're on Facebook, we're using it, we're posting 3-5 times a week, and now we want to get on Instagram. And then I want to ask you too, when do we know, or what should we be prepared for when going on Twitter and YouTube as a third and fourth platform? So let's go back to Instagram, and let's go high level view here. When our church media volunteers have got Facebook down, and now we're going to add Instagram like you recommend, what should we be preparing for? What kinds of posts, what kind of frequency, what kind of engagement? How can we best prepare for that as far as that new platform? What are the top 3 things that we need to know when moving to Instagram for the first time?
I think with the changes that happened to, and necessary changes that happened over on Facebook earlier this year, it really became necessary for churches, if you want to be successful, to of course, post in a way that invites more conversation and really builds community more that way. I think that some of the tactics that in the past that we tried to use on Facebook, and some of the posts that we did on there are not quite as successful anymore, but they can be more successful on Instagram. Really, the main thing that I would say to that you really want to ask yourself, and really want to ask your volunteer team or staff or whoever is working on this, is what is your core message? What kinds of nuggets you can pull out of a message each and every week, because the cornerstone, I believe, especially with Instagram and how you can still post and gain traction on that, is really understanding the different ways that you can repurpose a sermon, and just really being able to understand how you can use the sermon, and how many different kinds of posts that you can get out of that, and how those different kinds of posts relate to the overall message of your ministry that you're trying to convey each and every week. So I think that's pretty much the main thing that you want to be ready for as you transition over to that platform.
There you go. That is a portion of our interview with Mr. Marcus Kyler. Okay, I'm gonna. Those of y'all, by the way, if anybody has any questions in the chat, let's see. Ryan says, our youth say old people are on Facebook and they are on Instagram. Yeah, that makes sense. The question I always ask about Instagram is, Facebook and Instagram are kind of two different beasts, right? One is meant for an extremely visual experience. Each one has benefits over the other, I guess, right? And I think what we'll see over time, I don't see Instagram supplanting Facebook. I don't see Facebook supplanting Instagram. I think they work hand in hand, and I think they're used for different things at different times of the day. But yes, more people are on, or more younger people are on Instagram, and that's fine. We just have to know how to speak to that platform, to use that platform effectively in communication, inspiration for publishing outlets, all that sort of stuff. So, I think over time, younger people, maybe even just as they get older, I think some of them are going to be using Facebook. I think once Facebook gets a lot of things straightened out and kind of figures out or refigures out who they are and what they're going to do, I think we'll start seeing an even split as those younger ones get older. And no telling what's coming down the pipe later. I mean, there's always somebody trying something new. Remember that Vivo? Is that what it's called? That video service? Is that still a thing? Is anybody still using that? I don't know. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish out the show. Justin had to get back to work, so I'm going to finish out the show here. Boy, that was some great stuff from Marcus there. He's a wealth of information. You guys be sure to follow Marcus and keep up with what he's doing, because he's got a lot of insights and a lot of good info to share. By the way, guys, if y'all don't know, maybe you do know. I don't know if you know. If you do know and you haven't done it, how come? And if you don't know, well, hey, I'm going to tell you. Did you know that you can be a insider right here on Church Training Academy? You can go to churchtrainingacademy.com/join and click the join button there and become a part of the Church Training Academy. Each month we have courses, training courses. We've got tutorials. We've got live interactions that we do. We do live coaching with our CTA insiders. That's what we call our little tribe here. We call them insiders. We do a live coaching call twice a month with everybody, and basically you get to be on the hot seat and you get to pick my brain and Justin's brain, and you get to pick the group's brain, which is probably the best part about doing any of these group coaching calls, is that Justin may have a great idea on something, I may have a great idea on something, we may have some insights on how to solve a problem or get past a roadblock, but we're always amazed at how all of our insiders have insights to help each other out and stuff. And it's great when he and I can just kind of sit back and let one user help the other user. It's fantastic. So you guys will get to be a part of that twice a month if you become a CTA insider. We've also got a private Facebook group, the Insiders Facebook group, where we basically do that on a continual basis. Someone has a problem, someone has a question, someone has an idea that they want to bounce around. Should I? Could I? Is it possible to? All that sort of stuff. We handle all that in there in a private setting where everybody can, I get this a lot from some of our members. Well, this is a dumb question, so everybody be gentle with me. And I always tell everybody, it's only the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. And the reason it's a dumb question is because it's not going to get answered. So it's just going to sit there, and you're a dummy for not asking it. That's the thing. So in our insider group, and much like in our hacks group, any question, anything you guys have, anything you want to know, and if Justin and I don't know the answers, okay, we'll tell you, I don't know the answer. Well, we'll go find the answer. We'll go figure it out, or we'll find an expert that we can share with you guys to help get the answer, get the problem solved, get the breakthrough broken through. Anyway, go to churchtrainingacademy.com/join and you can join today. Guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. We thoroughly enjoy hanging out during our live recording with our tribe, with our audience, with our fans, our friends, all in the chat, both on YouTube and over on our Facebook page. Guys, be sure to join us every single week for the live recording of the show. We need and want our live studio audience, and that's you guys. So you guys can go to facebook.com/Church Training Academy, or you can go to youtube.com/Church Training Academy, or you can just go to ctalive.com and watch right there and join in the other channels there as well. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you guys take all the stuff that we've learned from Marcus today and all the stuff we learned in the pro tip and all that. Just take all this knowledge that you're accruing and use it to go change lives. All right. So that's that. Marcus says awesome. Okay, Marcus, again, another great insight. All right. If anybody has any questions, now is the time. Now is the time to ask them, because otherwise I am going to shut her down and start working on stuff. I've got a bunch of questions and answers sessions from our group coaching that I got to get published into the website. So if anybody has any questions or anything in the live chat, now's the time. Marcus, dude, thanks again for hanging out with us, and thanks for hanging out with us the other night. It's great getting to know you, and I hope that we can continue our personal friendship for many, 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 many decades to come, dude. Let's see here. By the way, Marcus, if you haven't set up to or asked to join the Church Media Hacks group, go to churchmediahacks.com and request if you want to. I mean, if you want to be a part of the group, and if you want to, like, have a place that you can ask questions and place that you can share all the wisdom and brilliance that is a part of your noggin here. All right, guys. I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to let you guys go. Love you all. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope that everything goes nice and smooth this weekend with your services. And like I said earlier, take everything you've learned and go out there and change lives. Give it a try. It's pretty cool.